Okay, I wrote a quick blog post about how to set up PhpStorm to run your tests in a Laravel application, and I thought it might be nice to just do a quick video of exactly the setup because it's kind of a pain in the butt. So I wanted to go through it real quick. So I have just a fresh install of Laravel here. I have created just a silly example of some service that sizes a string, and then I've built a test for that service to show you all the different features that it has. So without further ado, let's just dive right in here. So you can start setting up your tests by going here and clicking Edit Configurations, or going to the Run and click Edit Configurations. And inside here you want to make a new run configuration for PHP unit. So select PHP unit out of that list after you click the plus icon. I'm just going to name mine All Tests, and then point that to a directory in my app that is this tests directory here. So just go into my root and then select tests. Okay. So once we've got that done, then we're going to use the PHP unit file that comes with Laravel because it's already set up for us. So back in our root, you'll see PHP unit XML. Select that for this option. And then it'll say interpreter is not specified if you don't have one, so we need to edit our project configuration to set up an interpreter to work with our Vagrant virtual machine. So you can either click this fix box or click into here to where now you'll see we want a remote interpreter. We don't have an interpreter set up, so if we select this, we can add a new interpreter, select remote. We're going to do Vagrant. Our Vagrant instance folder is, this will be different for everybody probably. Mine is in my user directory and then this homestead folder. And PhpStorm will definitely configure things automatically after you select the right homestead folder that has your homestead and Vagrant installation information in it. Okay, so it knows that we have PHP 7 on my homestead box. I'm using PHP 7, so it names it automatically remote PHP 7. Gives you the instance folder and all that type of stuff. So we'll go ahead and apply that and then select that interpreter for here. Cool. It'll automatically set up the path mappings from homestead to Vagrant, but you need to set up the path mappings for your project. So again, in local path, I'm just selecting the local path to my project, which is this testing folder in my code. And then on my remote path, I happen to know it, but we'll go through this anyway. So it's under Home, Vagrant, and this will be different on your machine, but I have a code file that I put all my projects in, and then I'm selecting this testing. So that just tells the debugger and stuff and PHP unit where to find the code. So now that we've got that all set up, go into here, apply, and now we have an all tests. That's the all tests suite that we just made. So just to show you the difference here, if I were to run these tests in the terminal, you'd have to do vendor bin PHP unit. Okay, so that ran the test. We have two tests, two assertions, passing. Let's just make one of these fail really quick. And we'll run that again. And you can see this is the output that you get. Is it shows that one failed, one passed, and then it gives you some error about why it's failing. But it's kind of ugly. It's kind of hard to look at, especially when your errors get bigger. It's just hard to see. And then if you want to just run, say your test suite takes quite a while, and you want to just run this one test again to make it pass, you have to then use a filter, and you have to put the name of the test in. So then it just runs that one test. But that's kind of a pain in the butt if you're iterating quickly. And so I just wanted to show you that basically to show you how much better it is to use the internal debugger or the internal testing suite. So if we just hit test, it looks like we still have a little bit of an issue. Oh yeah, we got to define an autoloader. So sorry. It is, like I said in the blog, it is really complicated to get all this stuff set up, and I'm not sure why they've made it this hard. So we have to point this to Composer autoloader, and that should work. So I found the problem. It was kind of silly. Inside of the interpreter, we're setting up this use composer autoloader so it can find the PHP unit library. And I had this path to script in my local machine. It needs to be set up to your Vagrant machine, the testing, and then you go to the root of your app, and then vendor, and then autoload.php, and that will make everything work. So now when we run our tests, you can see we get this nice output. It shows that we had 2 tests were done and 1 failed, and it shows exactly where it failed. If it's a big set of code that you want to see the difference, it actually shows you a diff of the changes. It shows you exactly where the test broke, and it also, in here, you can jump to the code. You can jump to the source of what it's testing, which is really nice. I mean, just to be able to point and click and jump to stuff. In fact, you can even double click and it'll take you right to the test. So that's really neat. And then if you want to say we want to just rerun that test, you can just rerun failing tests with this little button here, and it'll just rerun that one test over. So this isn't a big thing in a tiny testing library like this, but if you're testing a lot of different stuff, your test can take a while to run, and having to type out that filter all the time to just get the ones you want to run is really nice. So, and you can see that. And if you want to run all of them again, you can run everything. So yeah, pretty cool. So next really cool thing is that you can actually run your tests with code coverage. So if you look in here in the string size class that we're testing, you can see there's no code coverage in here. But if we run our tests with coverage, all of a sudden in the gutter we get these little green bars that show that this test is covering this entire class. So every line is covered, and then over in our bar here we get 100% of the lines are covered, and you get a nice little report here where you can click through and see exactly what's tested and what's not. So I think it's really cool. So you can see string size, 100% of the lines are tested. I'm not sure why it's saying 100% of the files. These are all tested. It might be Laravel's internal. I'm not sure why that's showing that. So obviously not perfect, and I don't know 100% about it, but boy, it is cool. Now here I think is the neatest part about all this is typically if you're in the terminal and you want to find, like, what is this results, what does this actually look like when I get it back, you have to do like a die dump results and then run your tests. And then it'll dump out into the console that's a big string. But with this setup in here, you can run debug, and it'll run your tests and stop at a breakpoint, and you can actually step through and see what the results of your variables are, how things are, exactly what's happening in there. So it's really a nice feature. I can't imagine not using this anymore now that I've kind of seen all that it can do. So hope you enjoy the video. Hope this helps somebody, and certainly made testing better for me. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below or hit me up on Twitter. I am at Dustin_Fraker on Twitter. Thanks.